This episode is brought to you by Lumina Growth Lab. At Lumina, we help professional learning and development companies who are struggling with predictable lead flow, a sniper approach to attracting the ideal clients, and a system that qualifies leads so they can have a smoother sales process and finally have scalability and ultimately take their business to the next level. Most of the time, our clients come to us frustrated because nothing seems to work outside of word of mouth and referral based lead generation. But with the right strategy and support, they're able to confidently add new channels of lead gen and a packed pipeline that creates sustainable revenue and year over year growth for cheaper than ever before because of the use of AI technologies. If that sounds like you or someone you know, connect with me on LinkedIn and I'd be happy to have a conversation with you about unlocking your business's potential. Now, let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to the Marketing Matrix. I'm your host, Lisanne Murphy, and today I am joined by the talented and ambitious Brandon Weaver. Brandon, thank you so much for coming onto the show today.
Of course. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Guys, I'm really excited for you to hear from Brandon. He is revolutionizing the agency or the industry that he's in, and I'm really excited for him to share his passion. I don't know that I've ever met someone who is like as innately excited about what they're doing than Brandon, and so I know that that's going to come through in our conversation today. So let me take a moment to introduce this powerhouse man, and then I'm going to let him take it away and kind of give you the inside scoop. So, Brandon Weaver is a dynamic entrepreneur, visionary, strategist, and the CEO and founder of Navigate, a cutting-edge property intelligence platform revolutionizing the way real estate professionals discover, connect, and close. With more than 15 years of leadership experience across hospitality, travel, luxury brands, and prop tech, Brandon has built a reputation for scaling companies, modernizing data platforms, and crafting brand stories that resonate. At Navigate, he's on a mission to empower agents to prospect smarter, not harder, giving them access to unprecedented property owner and marketing intelligence. But Brandon's impacts extend far beyond real estate. He's known as Connectivity's Compass, a master networker who believes relationships are the ultimate currency. From orchestrating high-value exits to shaping cross-industry partnerships with names like Complex Networks, AvantStay, and Compass, his career has been defined by one theme: unlocking opportunity at the intersection of people, property, and possibility. All right, guys, so wherever you are, big round of applause. Brandon, again, thank you so much for coming on to the Marketing Matrix today.
Thank you. Thank you. Your check's in the mail. That was amazing.
Thank you so much. I didn't even pay him to say that, guys. That was straight from the mouth of Brandon himself. All right, so give us a little bit of a background story of like why real estate tech? Like what are the intersection points from your life that like came together for you to want to create this? Because for anyone to do a startup, one, they got to be almost insane, but they got to be really, really passionate about what they're doing. And so I really want to know like how did it all come together for you? Because again, like I've never seen someone so excited about
Yeah.
especially not just their business, but like real estate tech. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I tell you, here in this seat, and it has been a journey. I think one of the things when I look back at my career and I think about the themes that are surfacing and what I realized that I was good at was storytelling. And I was always looking for a vessel for that story. It was whether it was of spirits or whether it was hospitality. One of the things that kind of surfaced as an area of focus was real estate. When I was working in hospitality, real estate was kind of at the foundation of it, right? That was what we were selling. But I was always fascinated by it. Never really was on the sales transaction side, but just fascinated with how properties and people kind of moved and intersected and where value was created. So with this kind of hospitality focus, my partner and I got together with this idea, which, I always pinch myself because it still is an amazing idea. And, the funniest things happen when you least expect it. So while we were working on this idea, I was, I had the privilege of working alongside a ton of real estate agents. And I kept seeing these agents do these tasks that I'm like, this seems like we're stuck in the 80s here. Licking stamps, writing the names on the envelopes. And I was just like, what are they doing right now? And my partner Ari was like, oh, this is part of the prospecting process. And I was like, I see. Data point. But then, like everybody else, you keep on moving your life. I moved on and focused on this one big idea. But as the world works, as fate would have it, I kept seeing this situation arise time and time again and kept getting more intrigued. And I started to ask some questions and investigate prospecting. Now, anybody who's done sales knows that finding your next opportunity is the most important thing. There's a lot of things that are important, but how am I going to find my next lead? How am I going to find my next opportunity? And in real estate, clearly that is a fundamental part of the business, but no one had really investigated it, made it simple, efficient, almost. And I tell people this, it was like the big commissions that they would get. It's like almost like, I really got to earn it. Right. And this is like what I have to do to get to this. And it just was not the right way of thinking. And having worked in other sales industries and seeing all the technologies and things that happened, it was something that became clear that, hey, getting your next opportunity lead's not going to change. The process in which you do it needs to be modernized. And we're in a business, operating a business that no one has thought to modernize it. So again, big idea, big vision, luxury hospitality, what I wanted to do. And as fate would have it, I found what I was perfectly suited to do. And while I would never think of myself as a tech CEO, the core, this is a sales and marketing platform. And the vessel, the thing it's being delivered through is a web application. And so it's funny how I ended up here as, again, CEO of a software sales company. I even pause when I say it because it doesn't even seem real or right, but it's happening. It has been so fulfilling. And I don't know how to quite say it, but I feel as if it was planned. And all these things leading up, all the things that I've done led up to this moment. And it was up to me to seize it, realize it, and make the most of it.
I love that so much. I'm stoked for you. Um, I'll be honest. I think I've had a lot of moments of in my life of feeling really aligned, but to like be at that place where it's like, okay, everything is come together and it's perfectly suited for me. Like I'm still on the search for that, and so I holy envy is what I like to call it. I really think it's amazing that
Yeah.
you've gotten there.
And I'll say this too is, you talked in the intro briefly about like knowing when it's time, like all these things kind of coming together. And it's crazy because I was always trying to figure out and reluctant to be a CEO. I was really good. And people were like, Brandon, you've done all this. Like, you should go start something. But I never found something I was really passionate about. So I was like, oh, I guess I should, but I don't really know what it is. And, it's not by coincidence that I didn't pursue whatever that was. There was nothing that was calling me that I wanted to invest my full time effort, passion, every single thing into. And the thing that I never thought would happen was the thing that I've decided to do that with. And it wasn't that it was linear or planned. And I was telling a buddy of mine from business school last night, because we're so used to things being linear and we have to follow this and it has to be structured and we have to have everything, that when I stopped and resisted the temptation to just have everything perfect and just listened and opened and stopped blocking my blessings, as they say, this appeared. And it didn't look the part, but it's exactly like I said, exactly what I was perfectly suited to do.
That's remarkable. I love that. I really appreciate you like sharing like the heart side of it. And what I love is like some of the greatest innovations are things that are combinations that you wouldn't think would necessarily go together. Like this concept really struck me when I was in my graduate program where I was in a design thinking class. And one of the analogies that they gave us is like do you remember the first iPods, how like the when the iPod came out and it was the scrolling wheel, right, to through your songs on the first iPod.
With the little click.
Yeah, and it was like right, exactly. So do you know where that came from? So the concept, right, was revolutionary. I mean, because before it was all of these songs on CDs, records, tapes, right? So like you had this disc, right, where like a CD where you had 12 to 20 songs for the album, right? And so this
Really
concept.
making me feel old, by the way. I just want to say,
Say what?
really making me feel old right now. I was like, I remember this vividly.
Me too, man. I was the kid with like the pop top Walkman. You snap
Yeah.
in your CD, plug in your
Yeah.
earphones, carry it around with
Yeah.
the cord hanging down.
All the greatest hits. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I have a feeling we're probably really close to the same generation with that. Anyways, so this novel concept of like having all of these songs on one device, hundreds, right? At the time, like now, with streaming, it's like millions, but at the time it was, remember, like you'd buy however many gigabytes, like how many songs you wanted on your little device. Anyway, sorry, I'm going down memory lane as well. But where he got that from was the dial of a locker combination. So you remember like the old like the lockers were like you'd spin it to the right number and spin it to the left. And he was like, huh, like because a button didn't necessarily make sense. And he was like, how can it be novel and like fun? And
Yeah.
so it was this blend of technology where like technology before was just buttons, right, up and down for volume or for tracks or whatever. And so it was this revolutionary idea to combine the spinning wheel of a locker combination with the tracks to go through the songs on your iPod.
Yeah.
And it created a new category because of the combination of those things.
Yeah. And there's also the auditory cue of actually doing that. I feel as if there's something subtle in there, like you're making progress towards something, or like there's something there, right? That like whatever you're doing, there's something on the other end,
For sure.
right? This
For sure.
mechanical sort of thing. It's interesting.
So I bring it up in your story because I feel like oftentimes when entrepreneurs land on that thing that they give everything to, right? Like you're pulling from like the luxury hospitality industry, but you have all these friends that are in real estate and you're seeing this problem. So
Yeah.
you're applying an ideology and an expertise in one industry, applying it to another, which creates a novel solution and truly something unique and an opportunity for explosive growth. So
Yeah.
pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's interesting. I have the luxury of coaching real estate agents every Wednesday. And, you mentioned in the description the 15 plus years of experience in sales and marketing. And I don't say I'm the best salesperson you'll ever see. Listen to me, I know everything, far from it. But whenever we work in an industry, we're so focused on these are the rules, and this is these are the rules of engagement. This is how you sell in this industry, and that very well might be the case. But reframing and rethinking about things that people struggle with, where they like, "Oh, you can't do this," and "Oh, is that the case?" Because in this arena here, we're so used to this, we have no problem here. And the psychology, the consumer, the person you're selling, the prospect, if you will, how to get them to move. I like to call this kind of curve from indifferent to indebted.
Hmm.
Right. So I'm indifferent to I'm interested to I'm invested to, oh my God, I owe that guy or gal because of what they gave me and or what they provided me. And this is what I love kind of taking people through this arc and how do you do it? And there's no right or wrong, but knowing how people respond to whatever product it is you're selling and how do you contextualize it and meet them where they're at, I think that's the seller's gift. And so that's what I believe everyone is in search of, right? Not the one-way forced conversation. Buy this, you're hearing feedback and you're just reloading. It's no, you're creating conversation so you can have that moment to where when it's right and it's contextualized the right way, there's a conversion moment and it doesn't even need to be forced, it just happens.
Yeah,
And
I
that's the
love it.
relationship capital that I talk about a ton.
So good. So good. Fantastic. So, talk to me a little bit about like how this software is coming to life. Like, are you bootstrapping this? Is it funded? Are you looking for funded? Like, what's the market play here?
All of the above. No, we have done a seed round, pre-seed round, and we are currently in the process of funding, but this has been a labor of love. So I've invested time, capital, everything into it. We are currently fundraising now, and it's exciting because, when you're going through the process of capital raising and, you move from this core insight to prototype to proof of concept to be in the market validating it to actual, you have a commercially viable product. Everything changes, and both externally, because now someone is actually interacting with your product in a meaningful way, willing to pay for it, but also how you think about your activities. And in that inflection point between being a product in development to we are developed to a degree and in market, you kind of have to shift your focus, but it gets you excited because your baby, what you've built and everything you believed and you tested, you validate your hypothesis, and you're seeing the market respond to it. It gives you this, I don't know what it is, this wind in your sails. And I can recall the moment where I saw this product move from a, wow, it looks like it could be cool to, my God, we, we actually have something here. Like, this is legit. I got these goosebumps and I knew at that moment, not that I wasn't like this before, but I knew in that moment, and my one job was to tell everybody I could about navigate, even if they were in the market for prospecting or not, because of how powerful this was. And I became the product. And I'm a big, big believer in manifestation and you kind of get back what you put out there. And immediately when that you started to see interest, capital, things started to happen for the company and for me that, you always hope, but you saw it happen. It's because it's real. It is right. It's timely. We did everything right. And now the job was preach the gospel, go out and talk about this amazing thing you've built. And people
I love
felt it,
that so much.
right? They may not
Yeah.
have believed what
Yeah. I,
navigate.
I can feel it.
Yeah, they may not have believed what navigate was, but they're like, I believe you because if you're that delusional and passionate, there must be something there, you know?
Yeah, I felt it. I felt it in our initial conversation for sure. I was just like, man, like there's a level of passion and commitment that I think is really rare, that I felt. So it's fun to get to know you better and kind of dive into this.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this. So having worked in industry, especially in corporate America, there's always this feeling like it's work. We all know what it feels like when you have those meetings, you got to sit there, you either have to present or you're in a room and you don't want to deal with that person. You're just slugging through the day. Or Sundays come and you're like, oh my God, you're dreading the week. And I was talking to my fiance. She's like, you're working a ton. I was like, this is true. But I don't even think about it as if it's work. I actually think about it as like, I'm making progress towards something. So I don't look at it as, oh man, I have to do that. It's like, oh, like this is just part of the process. And a good buddy of mine, we mentioned Avant Stay earlier. He's someone who I kind of, the CEO, this guy, Sean Bruner, been friends for a while. I was listening to him on a podcast and he said something. He didn't say it to me personally, but he said on the podcast that I thought was so apropos for the moment I was in. But in timely and just right was you shouldn't be doing this if you don't love your problems. And I was like, wow, that's really powerful. I don't think about his problems like, let's solve it. Like I want to attack it. I don't want to shy away from it or like get down about it. It's like, oh, we'll figure it out. And it's exciting. And that's when you're either onto something or you should be in this seat or like this is what your calling is.
Love it so much. So
Yeah.
fantastic. So what, like, I love your, like, I will tell everyone about this. I've got to get the word out. What are the ways that you're getting out there and talking to, I'm assuming it's not just real estate agents, but probably mortgage brokers as well.
Yeah, it's a great question. So we designed it for real estate agents, but there's been an evolution with this product, and I never wanted to be like seen as a lead gen platform. Take you to a place very transactional. That's not who we are. It's not what we do. We're more than that. And in this kind of arc or evolution, we moved to from a prospecting platform to a property relationship management platform to what it is today, which is a property intelligence platform, which gives us dimension. So whether it's real estate, insurance, mortgage, the thing that makes this go, the special sauce is data, right? And we give you a tool to direct that data in ways that make sense for you. So we're starting with real estate right now because we know the use case is right? There is a need for it and no one's meeting them where they're at. And because the team, we're rooted in real estate, that is a very authentic message. We know their pain point and we know how to access them and speak to them in ways that make a lot of sense. And I think one of the things that we wanted to do was very important for me is because this was a target agents in particular that was underserved and overlooked. I wanted this product to be seen as like a rallying cry for the industry, but like this is your product as much as it is mine. This is our moment as much as it is yours or mine. Like it's ours. And this product represents you. It's listened to you. It's heard you. We're for you. All right. And people take ownership of that.
Mm.
They give you more degrees of freedom when maybe you guess wrong or don't get it right because they know you're working for them. We're really big on feedback. Yes. What are we doing to spread the word right now? Not that I love this, but it's incredibly important. And I always wanted it, or any company that started to be rooted in this is this one-to-one peer feedback, like getting the feedback on the ground floor. There's no pride of authorship here. We just want to get it right. So a lot of the work I do early stages, it's not necessarily scalable. It's teaching, it's coaching, it's one-to-one, but it's bigger than just navigate. We're not the way to prospect. We're a way to prospect. We believe our approach in thinking the prospect is right. That's our hypothesis. But we want to think bigger. I tell salespeople that 10 to 20%, you're scratching, clawing, doing all these things. I'm working harder, but I just can't seem to get it. Let's help you build the foundational elements. How do you build the right plan and foundation so you're set up for success? So you have a repeatable, scalable, actable business. Navigate can be an integral part of doing that because everybody wants to have the next lead and find it. But how do you actually get the data, have confidence in it, reach the people, do it at scale? That's the key across every industry. So we're starting with real estate. We will go bigger and broader as we get more data. I think this company, while we are rooted in real estate now, 2 years from now, if we have this, we're on this call and you ask me, what does Navigate do now? I think it'll look different. I think that what we are, Navigate, is agnostic of any industry. It is how are we directing data to best suit and serve you? So that is what we will be, and you'll see in short order us coming to market with. But right now we're getting ready, we're like getting everyone things primed to when we go to market, we come out with this message that we know will hit. And now it's about getting all the elements behind the scenes right. Because when we go big, we're not going back. Right. And we're going to be purposeful and we know who we're for.
Yeah, I love that. So is there going to be a training component as well because you're helping real estate agents like rethink prospecting?
There is. It's a great point. So we will have an academy, a knowledge academy that will be both the hard skills, like the tactical things, but also the humanity piece to it. As much as we're technology is not the answer. It's the amplifier. It's the magnifier of really good sales hygiene. But yes, you got to know your product, but you got to know people. And so as we got involved with this and started to see data as like really the fulcrum of the thing that drives this, there's this idea about democratizing data, but also injecting the humanity into this piece and finding that right mix, being relatable. How do you take that data and make it relatable? And finding that shared connection and meaning that actually gets somebody that contextualizes, like I said, but coming from a good place, right? Data for good, not data for bad. But we want to train all of that. Like I said, it is a way to prospect. We have a point of view on it, led by property intelligence, but we know that this is a building well-rounded sales people, and this is just the amplifier getting this message to them faster, but to the right person at the right time, at the right prices, they say.
Yeah, I love that. I'm really excited. I love how your vision is really broad and big, but you're not lost in it. Like the power of going to market is the riches are in the niches, right? And so like
I will
creating
steal
a
that, by the
very
way. Amazing. I love that.
so create you're more than welcome to. It wasn't mine to begin with, but you're starting in a narrow use case to understand exactly what that demographic needs and then meeting them with the technology there. So
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, and we'll learn. Listen, this is about learning. That I think the thing for me is we talk about the product. The product might be navigated. I think our product is our ability to get something to market fast and literally calibrate it, test it, get feedback, and constantly meet our target where they're at. And we know sales is moving every single day. It is changing, it is shifting, and people need to be not just responsive to the moment, but anticipate the next one and be prepared for it. So that's of real importance to us.
I love that. Are there some elements that are still like you're like, I don't know how we're gonna get over this, or this is an issue that we're working through, or a roadblock that you're experiencing for growth? Like what are some of the pieces that you're working through right now?
Yeah, I think one of the things which is I don't know if it's the perfectionist in me, but we're a company that launched at the beginning of August. And you look at the competitive landscape with companies that do something similar and man, they're ahead of us. Like they have this and we don't have it yet. And we tend to just benchmark ourselves to people who've been doing it for 10, 15 years and not realize that we've only been doing it for 2 months. And look how we've narrowed the gap. We'll get there. So I think it's always this tension of I want it now, maybe some shiny object like, man, that'd be really cool, but is it right? Right? Like, is it meeting our customer's need? Is the request, if it's a feature, is it rooted in, is it actually a request that's helping you get to the intended objective, or is it just something that's cool for cool's sake? So I think it's right now ruthless prioritization, right? Realizing what are necessaries and what are nice to haves, knowing how to the importance of pacing on everything now. And it could be all right, but it doesn't necessarily need to be all right now. So that's my own personal learning. But as I think about directing and leading and guiding our product vision, the things we focus on, the sheer volume of conversations and opportunities that come across my desk that, it'd all be like, oh, you got to do this right now. You have to have some sort of framework to just make decisions. They won't all be right. But if you root it in your customer, which is who we're here to serve, and let that guide you, that's our approach. I think the other thing that keeps me up that I think is I don't know if it's a navigate thing, or I know it's not just a navigate thing, but I think it's something that is all in the minds of everyone who operates in technology, really any business, is the impact that AI has on our business. And we look at it two different ways. There's the AI impact for our user, and then there's the AI impact for our business. How are we operating more efficiently, allocating resources, not overpaying or thinking about, do we need a physical or a live body for that or an AI agent? But I think what's tough and challenging is both on a fundraising front when presenting, but also on a development front when delivering is, are you keeping pace with the development of AI? And it's happening so rapidly that you might be working on something. The hope is that when you're started and when you finish, it's not obsolete. That the market
For sure.
you is it, oh my God, so innovative and it took too long that it's stale. And I don't know. I don't think anybody knows the answer. So it's like you got to pick and choose your bets on what to invest in. And also know that AI is not the answer, it is the accomplice. And I try to tell people this as we go into this era where, agentic AI and, seemingly you could get any answer at any moment and it's perfect. There's a beauty and a humanity and a familiarity in what's not perfect, both in the delivery, whether you speak it in a setting like this or you're selling, that everything does not have to be right, to be fallible. And that's okay. And people actually, it reminds them of the way life used to be. How do we balance, you know, technology versus humanity and like still invest behind the right things, anticipate the right things? It's not just my challenge. I think it's everybody's.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. It's super, super well said of the opportunity and struggle that we're all having to grapple with the massive tech of AI for sure and its impact on all of us. I love this conversation so much. Brandon, I would love for you to share um what is a personal lesson that you've learned on this journey recently? Like whether it's like a weakness that has just been like shining you in the face that you didn't see as clearly before, or a strength that you were like, "Whoa, I didn't even realize this was a strength, but now that I'm in this role, I'm seeing that it's a natural innate ability." Like, what's something you've learned about yourself recently in this journey?
Yeah. I think I reflect on this a lot because seemingly every day I'm learning something. The obvious answer is resiliency. Like, I think this has tested me in ways, this moment has tested me in ways that I never thought, never anticipated, never could have imagined. You hear a lot about entrepreneurs who talk about the journey and like, oh man, it was, so tough. And you see the success and you're like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense logically. But when you are in it, and I mean emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually in it, see why that we made it or the exit, whatever that moment of success is, that marker, I see why that is so significant. It doesn't just sound like a great sound bite. When you were in it, it means everything. And I'll tell you this, and you may think this is cliched, people listening to this, whether Navigate goes on to be the next biggest thing or it fails triumphantly, I walk away from this moment knowing more about myself and feeling more confident than I ever have in my life. Because if you can put up with this and every single day and bounce back and keep a smile on your face and stay steadfast to it, you can deal with anything. And it's crazy. Like I think about all the things before I did this that I was impressed or seduced by, the big title, or like, man, you know, I wish I could do that. I probably need a couple more jumps in my career, stops in my career to do this, or I'm not ready yet, or this. I had a buddy of mine who I met with on Monday, and he said something that hit me different. Said, "The world doesn't reward talent; it rewards doers." I said, "Wow." The lesson learned is you can have all of the talent you want. You could be the greatest salesperson, the greatest ideas. The thing for me was I was making excuses. So I was more focused on what everybody else thought and more comfortable in the excuse I made to not put myself on the line, to go test myself, to not realize my potential. And maybe the timing wasn't right back then. And this was the moment where it all kind of came together. I need to see some things to realize that this is up to you to shape your destiny and realize the moment because it's here. And are you going to do it? Or are you going to be more comfortable with the excuses you make for not doing it? And I took the leap of faith and bet on myself instead of hedging and knowing that like there was a plan, like something happened, the cosmos put this together and you'll be okay. And go out and realize the thing, the gifts that God gave you and go realize it for yourself and live up to the moment. And I don't even know why I'm telling you this, but it's real and we're getting raw here and people need to hear this. I looked at myself in the mirror every morning and I said, look at yourself. You've been given every single thing. People would love to have the skills and talent you have, and you don't go out and do anything with it, right? You're scared. And what are you scared of? And I had to shift. It was a mentality shift. Big like that, I think for me is the biggest thing in this moment here is the single mindedness and focus that there's no, this is it. have done the work. I've done the research. I know if you don't like navigating the idea, that's great. Moving on. And it's this bully mentality, push through every day. And I was not like that. If we had this conversation 5 years ago, I might have talked like that because it sounded good. But in this moment, it's a belief, it's a feeling, and it's a confidence that comes from being in that moment.
I love that. I love that. And I really identify with it. I've had the couple years ago, I'd gotten really caught up in the hustle of my business. And so I took a step back, and it was taking the step back that like really helped me kind of evaluate where I was at, what I was interested in, what I wanted to do moving forward. But there was also this piece of me that's like, I just don't know what to do. Like until something like distills upon me, like I can't act. And within the last year, I just kind of made the decision, like I can't keep waiting. Like I needed to like jump in and just kind of like make things happen. Just this week, actually, I had a day where kind of like how you were talking about before you got on the call, where it's like if everything was stopping you from showing up, like impossible, that was just ridiculous, right? I had a day a couple days ago where it was one of these days where like I was on calls from like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. It was just one of those days. Not only was it just one of those days, but it was also like not like nothing resulted from those calls, and
Yeah.
I was like, I'll be honest with you, Brandon. I was pissed, man. I went to the gym after my calls to just kind of like blow off some steam, and I was just like, nothing happened. Like this is miserable. I like trying right now, working my tail off, and like this is just miserable. And I reflected on it, and I was like, okay, what's the issue here? Is it an alignment issue? Like, am I not aligned with my work? But then I was like, I don't know if that's it. And then this flash of idea came into my mind that I had expectations. I had expectations that those calls would turn into, and they didn't. And so because of my expectation, I was mad. But in all actuality, like, something might not immediately turn over like into like a new client or a new partnership or whatever, but like I don't know what fruits will maybe or maybe not flow down the road because of those seeds that are planted. Or maybe it was just the fact that I needed a packed day of ridiculousness to like be more protective of my time or have firmer boundaries or qualify people like more strictly before I just like allow time to be taken up on my calendar. And I was like, huh, like I wouldn't be having this conversation with myself and this analysis of, is it an alignment issue? Is it an expectation issue? Do I have a boundary problem, or, what's going on? Like, unless I was in the arena and having days like that, because like one bad call, you slough it off, right? But like a day of bad calls, it makes you think,
It makes
you
you
know?
think, right? And in those moments, like that realization wouldn't have happened until you were in that moment that forced it. And that's a lot of what's happening right now of it's making in this moment a lot of things that you may have thought but didn't investigate because it didn't flare up. You are now looking at and saying, huh, I had a hunch, and this moment is proving that hunch to be true. And you can be upset about it, and you can be like, thank you. Whether it's people, Brandon, we think you're really smart. Whatever you do, we're behind you. But when the moment counts and you need something, maybe they don't show up in ways that you thought. Like, okay, not good, not bad, but at least I know it gives you an orientation of how I should think about this relationship, how I need to be looking at things, my time. And I think all those things, I never look at anything. People think I'm crazy. I used to stew in stuff, right? Like, oh, and I just realized that like everything is for a reason. You have to have that thinking now in these moments. Like it is training you, preparing you, testing you, testing how bad you want it, how committed you are. And whether it's a moment like you had where it's making you reframe and rethink and maybe give yourself back time, or to your point, the expectation of every deal needs to close versus I'm actually not going in with any expectation. They're all new insights, right? And so I created lanes for conversations, and that is a reframing that sets you up for a different way of looking at it. We got 14 new conversations that's just started that I can do something with. It all's how you look at it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I really, really appreciate you opening up and going deep and allowing me to open up as well. Brandon, it has been an absolute joy having you on the marketing matrix. I'm sure that you and I we could like powwow and go deep in a lot of these topics for many, many hours. And so we'll definitely have to have you back on the show again. But thanks so much again for coming, for sharing your passion, your drive, your transparency and authenticity, and your excitement with what's going on. I'm really excited for you and everything that's coming your way with what you're learning and what you're creating.
Yes, yes. Thank you. They always say, don't tell anybody, tell everybody. And that is the mantra we are living right now at Navigate. This is part of this transparency, authenticity. This is for me, we almost wish people were like this a bit more, right? A lot of our problems, a lot of the things where we're all humans. We all want the same thing. We all go through it, right? And so I love these conversations. Thank you for having me. And yes, it's an exciting time. Yeah. Like you can see it in the smile, right? Who knows what's going to happen? But I'll tell you one thing for sure. It's not going to be because of lack of work, effort, or intensity.
I love it. I love it. Let's go. Well, Brandon, how do people find you, follow your journey, find navigate? Like give us the
Yeah, yeah. You can find us online at navigatenow.com. Go to our Instagram at Prospect with Navigate and our YouTube at Prospect with Navigate as well. Uh, you will hear more about us very, very soon. Again, tell a friend, whether you're in real estate or whatever business you're in, if you're in sales and you're struggling to find your next opportunity, struggling to keep float and want to be a top performer, Navigate can be a solution for you. So don't be shy. Come to our site. We got something for you.
love it. I love it. Guys, I'm going to put those links in the episode notes and so you can directly connect with Brandon and navigate. And I just wish you the best of luck and so excited to see how it unfolds. You now have got me in your inner circle of very interested people. And so just know I'll be following up and looking forward to seeing how it evolves over time. So again, thank you so much for coming onto the show today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, wherever you are listening, thank you so much for your time. We know that time is valuable. So for you to choose to spend your minutes with us means the world. So again, thank you so much. And until next time on the Marketing Matrix.